Hey guys, welcome back to Sierra Rose Typology. Happy Friday. I recently, by recently, I mean within the last day or two, got interested in Fairuza Balk, kind of like a flashback from the 90s, because I saw that Enneagrammer had typed this rapper named Youngblood as I think they had him as a 7 Wing 6 DJ. We'll just look him up quick. And his facial features and his energy reminded me so much of Fairuza Balk. It's he's got like the piercing eyes, but like usually heavily rimmed with black shadow and like the chaotic hair, the really big smile and very expressive, very dynamic and he honestly just actually physically to me looks a lot like Fairuza Balk. Um, just kind of like the aesthetic, the vibe. It's like a little bit like, dark and jarring, but not unpalatable. And they did have him as SXSO. So obviously he's like, presenting himself as this sexual object, but with like this obviously seven-ish, like silly, quirky thing going on. Um, but anyways, we can contrast that to Farouz. Oh yeah, you can see it immediately. Like this is probably her most famous role as Nancy from The Craft, which came out in 1996. And I did a little math and I was like, okay, so 1996, I was 10 and I was obsessed with this movie. Me and my friends, we loved this movie. We were trying to do this stuff in each other's basements. It was a great time to be a kid. Um, when we had like that and then we had Charmed and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. But just like the late 90s was I don't know, I think it was a great time to be coming of age, but and just from like this role, this was like a really defining role. You probably think that she had four influence, like a four fix or even like a four wing on three, but I don't think she does. And I'll show you in some interviews from around that time where she was actually really into like the whole witchy thing. She's a Wiccan, and as part of her research for the film, she bought an occultic shop, but she was really eager to distance herself from that character, Nancy, because she was like, Nancy is evil, that's not me. And you'll see as we go through this video that she's got quite a bit of positivity. I would actually call her pretty like sunny and light, in heavy contrast to, this character, Nancy. And okay, so I mean you can see I think Nancy might have been like a 7 Wing 8 with a four if we're, typing characters, because why not? But this is what she had to say about it.
I underestimated the power of your own will, basically, which is what a lot of magic teaches you how to use. Well, I wouldn't compare myself to that character. I mean, she's evil. I mean, she's a bad girl. Even I couldn't go that low. Bravo! Witchcraft is a very interesting thing to learn about because it can be very, very useful. It's kind of something that came in and out of my life, but in making the film, I did a lot of research, so I learned a lot more about it. Definitely empowerment, female empowerment. These are called fortune bracelets. Each of the colors on the bracelets represents a different thing. You put them on your wrist, and when all the beads finally fall off, then that means that your wish has been granted. Candle magic is very prevalent in witchcraft. It's used because of...
Okay, so you can see right away that there's a lot of like the 7 9 kind of magical thinking. And I do think that she's seven first, probably 7 Wing 6. And she is pretty friendly. She's pretty positive. You can get that right away.
the different symbolic representations of the colors. So basically, it's like all your willpower and all the like, how much you want it, you put it into the candle, and when you light it, it's symbolic of you gaining your wish.
Let's call the corners, shall we?
Following the corners, there's four corners: the east, the south, the west, and the north. And each of the corners has a special symbolic significance. So you would take something like this. You'd call the guardian of that corner and ask him to come down into your circle and bring with him his powers. Here we
And like even just there, there's something that's really like untethered and chaotic about her, which I do think is her instinct stacking, which I am seeing SoSx. And I mean, there she just like whips out a blade like doing this interview for ET. Like, who else would do that but like a seven-wing six?
have our little selection of crystal balls. They, as you might know, are used for what we call scrying in Wicca, which is fortune telling, basically. And they're great cleansers as well. And I know that crystals have become very kind of hip lately. They've become the new thing, but that's because they work.
He's sorry. Oh, he's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry.
The thing is that I think essentially the girls were in it for the fun of it. But then my character, Nancy, who is a power freak, and if it had just been the other girls, they probably wouldn't have gotten into such a dark situation. But because I'm the one that's telling them what to do, they follow my instructions, so it kind of beelines. But that's because her purposes are kind of shaky.
He's so pathetic.
All of the symbolic things associated with witchcraft were given a bad name. I think that essentially that stems from the persecution of the witches throughout the centuries. If you had moles, you were a witch. If they poked you with red-hot pokers and you didn't scream the right pitch, you were a witch. There is always a dark side, and it's up to the person that gets involved in it which side he wants to choose. There always has to be a little bit of both for the balance, but you can either go one way and go into the negative or go the positive way, which is, something that I hope that most people would rather gear towards.
Girls, watch out for those weirdos.
We are the weirdos, mister.
I underestimated the power of your own.
So there you can get like her overall vibe, I think, pretty well. Like it's a little bit messy, it's a little bit chaotic, but there is that constant like undercurrent of positivity. And that was really loud. So she is on Instagram. She's pretty active on social media, even though she hasn't really been in the public eye much. And I kind of wonder if maybe she just got bored with acting. Like it sounds like she was looking when she was an actress for roles that were really creatively challenging for her and things that she was excited about, like obviously taking on the craft. And she was also in The Water Boy. She kind of played the crazy girlfriend. Um, but then she kind of dropped off the map from like, pop culture. But I mean, she's got a lot of interests like actor, artist, writer, musician, dancer. And she also is selling merchandise and, just pretty actively engaged. She's still.
While leaves, they fall down to the ground. Their branches entwine from earth to sea.
That's pretty good. So yeah, she's making music. She's staying busy. Um, I thought this was cute. Just sending you guys some unfiltered, unaltered, straight up love, along with some sunbeams on this Friday. And a big thank you for ordering the t-shirts. So yeah, I do think that she has a 3 fix, possibly last. I'm not really sure of like the placement at this point. But yeah, very sunny, very positive. Feels very like Sin Flow to me. She's just doing her own thing. She is just now recently getting into making jewelry, which to me speaks to like that the seven kind of like insatiable quest for new experiences and novelty. So she says, fun, creative, lapidary, and smithing project! Exclamation point. I always hoped my dad would teach me how to make jewelry, and finally, during the pandemic, he gave in and got me started, and I am in love. So again, just like dripping with positivity and excitement. Is very cute.
I don't know why cameras don't capture the colors very well.
A little bit of frustration there from Seven.
Opal. That is a black opal from Australia. And I only have little tidbits because I'm still learning. But isn't it beautiful? It almost looks like wings.
But yeah,
I'm really proud of these.
I just kind of get the sense that she's just doing her own thing, in that like kind of seven core way, and then sharing her recent hobbies and interests, with a whole lot of like positivity behind it. So yeah, this is her store. She's kind of like capitalizing on her like iconic pop culture status from the craft. And okay, there's a lot of that. Yeah, she's definitely three fixed, but and the caption on this is there's so much beauty in this world to experience, and I feel so blessed to be able to see some of it. I thought I would start sharing some of what I see. Love you guys. So yeah, I mean, this woman is definitely not, she's not for fixed. She's not for influenced, in my opinion. Just tons and tons of positivity. It was kind of funny. I thought to myself, like, well, I've been typing a lot of DJs recently. I should try to like find other types, but I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of like drawn to this energy, and that's why I'm probably gonna type an inordinate amount of DJs on my on my YouTube channel. So this I thought was funny. It's kind of a boomer thing to do. She's like posting a picture of her mom, but in all caps, like Amy Yazbek, check your DMs. Please call me. I don't have your number. So that to me also seems potentially like very chaotic, like Seven Wing Six, SoSx. She's trying to get a hold of some woman, so she creates this like all caps um, post on her Instagram. It just kind of struck me as a little bit funny, but and this I thought spoke to her, being nine wing one fixed, possibly secondary. A moment in time, the full rose moon, a brief respite in a time of chaos. Find the beauty to find strength, find joy, and remember the source, the strength. It is always there within you. We are all related. We are all family, all nations, all beings. I mean, that is literally about as nine wing one as you can get. And I think it's also speaking to three wing two in her heart image center, that she really wants to like share these moments and like invite people in to what she's experiencing. And this is like an extremely nine wing one coded way, like finding the beauty in the chaos. We're all connected. Life is so beautiful, and finding spiritual meaning in this moment of, this full rose moon and the gentle waves. It's just, it's about as nine wing one as you can get. And here's more of her like sharing her jewelry, which is like just probably the latest in a long, long line of hobbies that she's been into, because she is Seven Wing Six. And honestly, the jewelry is really cool. Like I would totally wear some of that stuff. And then this is her mom. Found this photo of my incredible mother, Catherine, aka Farida, dancing. I'm so proud of her. I wish you guys could have known her, as she was just an incredible person. So this is like more of that effusiveness, I think, from being very unboundaried, SOSX, plus having some two influence in her heart center. Like there's just this very effusive, joyous, loving energy. that comes through quite a bit for her. Which again, you might not suspect because, this is how she's been probably the best known, her best known role. Um, but yeah, here's some more like 911 stuff. Talking about the feast of Sarah Lee Kali. She is the saint, guide, and protector of all Romani people. So I guess she has some Romani heritage too. I will make an altar for her with fresh flowers and fruit and various other offerings as I do every year. Someday I will get to Saint Marie sur la Mer. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that. So basically, she's very, very spiritual, kind of woo, very ungrounded. May we all be blessed with her guidance, protection, and blessings! Exclamation points. So yeah, I mean, getting all that from her Instagram account, it's a really great way because it's how people are like, great way to like see what's going on with someone because that's how people are choosing to represent themselves. But actually, I think this was, oh yeah, this one I thought was interesting too.
LA isn't exactly the Emerald City, but there is someone here who remembers making a trip to Oz. Actress Fairuza Balk. In 1985, at the tender age of 9, she took on the lead role in the sequel to one of the most beloved movies of all time, The Wizard of Oz.
I know that they went through all of America.
So the thing that stood out to me here and that I want to demonstrate is like, look how like crazy alert and active her eyes are. Like this is this is a core head type. Core 7. I mean, this woman is like so alert and she's like, looking around the wheels. You can see the wheels spinning. And I do think she's probably an SETI NCT. I haven't looked super closely, but that was my impression.
America and Canada into Europe. They, like, tens of thousands of children. First of all, I went to a cattle call in Vancouver, which is like 300 children. And
So like in her eyes,
some of us got to go on tape. I was lucky.
you can see like how just alert she looks. And part of that is probably being an SE lead, like there's a lot of like tension around her eyes, giving her like this very awake and alert quality. But like there's nothing like sleepy or like very inertial about her at all. This is just like, core 9.
I went on tape with Mike Fenton, and then they cut it down to 12 girls, brought us all out to LA, did more screen tests. Then it cut down to 2 girls, and we went to London, and then it got down.
I mean, like I'm reading this is like it looks like this woman woke up and had like 5 espressos, but she's probably just always like this. Is like a core 7.
One girl, which was me. My mom was there with me, though. So every night before I went to bed, we'd sit and look at the scenes for the next day and just memorize them until I had them down for the next day. It was a lot of work, and I think towards the end of the filming, it was a very long shoot. It was about 8 or 9 months. Towards the end of the filming, I got a little tired, and that's when I began to realize it was work. Because it wasn't just, what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. You had to get up every morning and go. And
I think that's a little bit of that, like 7 being a frustration type, it started to occur to me that this actually was work when like the novelty wore off and she was on a schedule and couldn't just do what she wanted to do.
be a professional. And as a child, that's kind of a hard concept to grasp. And you have to get it, you have to grasp it like that. There's no fooling around. You can't not go when you feel like playing, you have to be responsible. I think it makes you an adult very quickly. The books are amazing. The books are really amazing. I've read them, and they're just fascinating stories. It's also the idea of, I think when you're a little kid, especially for children, we all want to have that magical place to disappear to. We all want to be able to go to another world, like a world of fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's somewhat true of children, but I mean, especially if you're a 7, like a double fantasy type, she's very drawn to this character. I don't know if that influenced her, in this role. She was just a child, but the fact that she was very drawn to the books and this idea of escaping into this land of like magic and fantasy. And again, I think that speaks to the lack of groundedness because she is SP blind.
And we create that for ourselves as children when we play. When we say, oh, now I'm climbing a mountain and, you're climbing the steps to your back door, or whatever. It's the imagination, and it's an extension of that. And so I think for children, as well as for adults, it's like this whole world that represents that to them, which is very important. It's very important to keep that as you grow older and not to forget, because if you lose your imagination, you're like a hollow shell, without.
If you're a 7, yeah, you can't bear the thought of losing your imagination.
You lose a big part of your access to your soul, I think.
All right, and then I also want to check out this one it's like very poor quality. I'm sorry, guys, but this is from when she was very young, and so you get kind of like a very raw, and I would argue probably to this day she's probably still pretty raw in the way that she's presenting herself isn't, modified. She's not like doing the overtly attachment thing of adapting, but you can get a feel for, what's going on.
I'm pronouncing it right, Fairuza Balk.
Fairuza Balk, yeah.
Yes, interesting name. Now, they tell me just for our show tonight, you got your hair done?
Yeah.
It looks
I'm
fancy.
very psyched to be here. I haven't done talk shows since I was this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is exciting.
And she does actually legitimately look excited to be there. So again, not core withdrawn. Also just very like she's got this like free flowing like little fairy sparkle vibe of SoSx.
What kind of surprise? What did we decide here? What does this say, the hair? What are we doing?
It's rock star.
Rock star?
Yeah, I'm like the little native Indian girl tonight.
It's rock
I'm
star.
native and I'm Romany. That's my blood.
There's so much going on.
Right?
So I think that also could speak to SoSx because SO is she's aware of what she's presenting and she's giving it like some cultural significance. Yes, I've got feathers in my hair because I am native, I am Romany, but she's doing it in like a fun rock star kind of way.
Actually, you are also a rock star, aren't you?
Yeah.
You have a band called the D13?
G13.
G13?
Yeah.
What do you like doing more, acting or playing in the band?
Well, they're real different from each other. I like them both.
Yeah.
I mean, the live thing is great. I mean, it gets your adrenaline going. And I'm a performer. I'm an entertainer, so.
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of the actors come here, and they're used to doing a movie where there's no audience, so they get excited when they see the audience here. But if you're in the band, then you always get that audience. That must be exciting.
Yeah, well, it's like theater also. You get an instant kickback, which is really great. And on set, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So.
How come this is what you've been described as dark, scary, crazy girl? Now, do you disagree? And why do they describe you that way?
Well, I think I took a lot of roles that would challenge me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been doing it since I was a little girl, and I think when you do a lot of those roles, people start to see you that way. And
Yeah.
Dark, crazy, scary girl.
Yeah, that was the description. That was the description. And also.
It's better than big, stupid Bimmy girl.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But tell them, you have a store? In real life, you have a store that sells something? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I have a store that sells something.
I don't know.
I bought an occult shop when I was doing research for the craft. Yeah, which is really cool.
Okay, and this is, and so what happens if I go in the store? What am I going to see?
Candles and incense, and we have practicing occultists there that will help you and give you, like, if you came in and you needed to, like, you wanted to get a girl or something, they'd give you a candle and dress it up for you and tell you what to do.
Is that all it takes? That's easy.
Well, If only it were that simple. But I mean, you can definitely help things along a little bit.
Sure, with a candle. Candles.
Positive
Yeah.
thinking and the candles. Yeah.
Okay.
Positive thinking, yeah.
Okay, this is also...
Chicks like candles.
Chicks, sure. They love candles. Um, you collect knives?
No, I don't. I used to.
You used to?
I used
And when
to.
did that phase go out? Why were you collecting knives? I mean, it's cool, but...
It went out at about 15,
Oh,
to
okay.
tell you the truth. That's an old sound bite, but I just thought they were beautiful. I collect motorcycles now.
Okay, we've moved from knives to...
Okay, so she used to collect knives. Now she's collecting motorcycles, and she probably bought this occultist shop completely on a whim. It's all very seven.
Motorcycles. How many motorcycles do you have?
Well, at the moment, I just have one. I've got a... But
So
it's
we're
the beginning of a collection.
I guess
I want to get the new Beamer.
a motorcycle.
Yeah, the one with the little clip-on thing. Guys may know that, right?
So
Yeah.
I have one car. Am I collecting cars right now? Is that how... Don't you have to...
No.
I have a house. I guess I'm collecting house. Is that how it works? Hey, what about this? Remember this?
Oh.
This was, that's you. Return to Oz. Is this right before you started with the knives?
No, I was like 8 years old.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's innocent for... Tell us about Deuces Wild. It opens this week.
Deuces Wild is great. It's a film set in the 50s. It's about the Brooklyn street gangs.
Yeah.
And it's...
Okay, so you can see she's fairly assertive, but she definitely has that DJ. She's like core 7 DJ, just going with the flow. Um, Very positive. And there was just one more interview that I thought we could check out. She's just done a few like of these occultic things. Like, so she's still into it. Of course, like 9/7. It's probably like all the weird stuff. Like I was always into like all the weird stuff too. Um, her type, but yeah, I mean she's doing she's doing a lot of hustling on her Instagram. It's a lot of like spirituality, the woo from, 7 and 9. Now is a health thing. What's this? Oh, okay, so she was probably in LA when all those big fires were happening, and I think she's probably just trying to be helpful there and share some helpful tips from that, 3-wing 2 influence. Happy Love Day, everybody. Sending my love out to each of you and every one of you today because you are fabulous people. Yeah, Fairuza Balk, she's super adorable. And I'm getting like image second, and this is a little bit of a superficial observation, but like a lot of the posts have like kind of like a random feel with like this overarching, just spreading positivity, good vibes, love. Feel like there's not a ton of like imagey, like overtly imagey stuff. Like it's a pretty sunset. It's jewelry raffling. It's whatever the heck this is. Um, Promoting her, her latest artistic venture. So yeah, I would guess image center last for her. But yeah, real softness, like modern day, little sparkle fairy for real. Seems like a really cool chick. A lot of like bizarre fantasy elements going on. So I feel comfortable calling it. We'll say Fairuza Balk, 90s superstar in her own right. 7-wing 6, 9-wing 1, 3-wing 2, SoSx. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.